Hi, my name is Mrs. Cockcroft. I am your child's ELA 10 honors or 10 general class. Third period is my honors class, and if your child is in fifth or sixth period, it is the general class. This video is to let you know a little bit about what we have done first quarter and what we have done or what we will be doing second quarter. It is also in place of parent-teacher conferences. I am out due to a family emergency, but I wanted to make contact so that you can see a visual of who I am and know that I am still in contact with students via Google Classroom and via email. I am just not in the building. So I wanted to make sure I showed you a few things if you were planning on attending conferences, or even if you weren't, just so that you're aware. Last quarter, we know was a tough quarter because we were all getting used to this new way of learning. Because of that, in the first 2 weeks, we offered grace, so students could turn in anything within the first 2 weeks and not miss points. In week 4, and then we went to our late policy. In week 4, we noticed kids were still struggling, so we had a grade repair, and some students took advantage of that. And then in week 9, we did an amnesty repair for any kid that there were 6 assignments, major assignments that kids could resubmit if they didn't like their grade, or submit if they never submit in the first place. And so we did that to make sure that all kids would pass first quarter. There were still some kids that did not pass first quarter, and you may be wondering, you may have a child that either did not get the grade that you wanted, or they did get the grade. If students did get a C, B, or A, most likely they turned everything in, or they took advantage of the amnesty repair during week 9, or week 4, they took advantage of that. And so they turned in assignments. Students who received a D or an F most likely did not turn in all assignments or did not turn them in on time. And it is difficult to assess where they are when students do not turn in assignments. So going forward for quarter 2, the biggest thing that you can help with your student is to make sure that they're turning in assignments on time. If a student turns in an assignment on time and I see that they are struggling, then I can help them. But if students do not turn in assignments on time, it is difficult to know where they are or how to help them. So that's one of the things that was happening in first quarter. And now that we're kind of used to this way of learning, no matter if your student is within the school building or they're on the Zoom, most things are going to remain the same except for timing. And so I want to kind of go over to make sure that you understand kind of how my class works in case you do not know yet. So give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So as you're aware, you'll probably notice that your student is on Google Classroom. So if they're in my third period, it'll look like this, but also my fifth and my sixth. No matter what period, I've set it up similar so that it is easy to navigate. So we're going to go, if you go in the classwork section, that is where you can find all the playlists. I've got important links up here, the digital text that we're looking at, and you'll notice that the playlist, and they have the dates to help students realize, okay, these are the assignments for those dates, okay? So that's one thing I want to make very clear. I try to make instructions very clear. I almost always have an instructional video, sometimes with each one when I know students are struggling. If students reach out to me and they tell me, ooh, I don't understand those directions, I often make a video if I haven't already and I add it to it, like I add it to the assignment. So there's always a way that they can view me teaching them or going over an assignment if they're struggling. You just got to make sure that your student reaches out. The more a student advocates and reaches out, the better, the more they're going to learn and the more they're going to understand and not feel as overwhelmed. The second thing I want to point out to parents is that although you can't access this side of Google Classroom, unless of course you ask your student to log in, you always have access to my plans and my videos as far as what I'm going to be doing for the week. And you go and you do that because you're visiting my website, which is on the Trotwoods landing page. So if you're here at the website, you're going to open up to About Me, and there's parent information, there's a welcome back video, there's a schedule. I try to put a lot of the things that students are going to need on that main homepage. If you scroll down, you'll notice your student has to pick, or you has to pick ELA10 General or ELA10 Honors or ELA12. We're just going to go ahead and click on one of them. The 10 right now, it's still kind of set up no matter if you're in General or Honors. The setup is the same. There might be different assignments, but the setup is the same. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to go down to playlists. It doesn't, and my play on this website, it's organized by unit. Unit 1 we're done with, and we're in Unit 2. We're wrapping that up this week, first week of quarter 2. And so when you can go over here and you can access it, and you can click over here. So the way that that's going to work is you're going to see all of my playlists here. It's a folder that I've updated. And so every time I make a playlist, I just put it in. And right now we are on the one that says 1026 to 1030. There's also an instructional video. There's usually multiple of me going over it for that week so that you can help your student over the assignments if they need help. So maybe if you watch the video, they could also have some help. So everything is here for you as parents, but it is also in Google Classroom, okay? The other thing I wanna mention that some students that you may wanna make sure that you're helping your child with is time management. So when we first started in the first 2 weeks, we offered grace. Like we took late work because we knew people were getting used to the change. And then we also offered, like I said at the beginning of the video, amnesty. We had a week 4 grade repair and a week 9 grade repair. And many students who took advantage of that increased their grade. But one of the things that I did say is that a lot of students are just not turning in assignments, which is not going to get them the grade that they want. What I want to make you aware of is the official ELA late work policy, which this was told to students week 2 as well. But I want to make sure that we are all on the same page and we understand it. So the way that my class is organized is my assignments build on each other. They are always all connected. I do not give busy work. They all connect to the target or the standard that we are trying to learn. So that being said, the grades are organized in 3 different ways and they are weighted. So 15% of the grade is learn about it assignments. Those are things like the introductory materials to the unit so that they can do the evidence of learning, so that they can take the test, if you will. These are like notes or pair decks or maybe a video of me teaching, things that they have to watch or that they have to introduce them to the concept. That's 15%. Learn about it assignments are often not accepted late, normally because we're going to use them or talk about them in class, right? Late credit with a penalty is the practice assignment and the evidence of learning. Practice assignments are 35%. That's where your student gets better at the concept that was introduced in the Learn About It. They are accepted late up to 2 days and they'll have a penalty with it as long as they turn in a form. The reason I have students turn in a form is because there are so many notifications coming through. I often don't see the notifications that a student has turned something in late. Once I grade, I click reviewed and it goes out of the way. So the best way for your student to get his or her work graded if they turn it in late is to make sure they fill out that form, that late form. Students can find that late form in Google Classroom in the classwork section. They can also find it right here on my website. They can just keep filling it out as many times as they need to, okay? There is a point deduction if it's late, up to 2 days. The 3rd day and after, it is not accepted. Evidence of learning, think of those things like your projects, your tests, your major assignments to show the learning that a student has acquired. That's 45% of their grade. It's a huge chunk. That is also accepted up 2 days late. 3rd day, it is not accepted late. So when you are talking to your child about time management and how to be successful in my class, they really need to adhere to these guidelines. I wanted to make sure that we all knew that because I think that would be one thing that would help students a lot. The other thing that I will suggest with students is that they make a schedule, maybe in the morning, that they open all of their playlists. And so they set aside like when the due dates, maybe they write a to-do list. That may help some students, especially if they're struggling with organization. I've seen some students write it on a whiteboard behind them, or they had a big post-it note that they wrote on it. That's, that's fine. We have also on my website, and you'll find this under Coffee with Cockcroft, under my help desk for parents. There is an agenda here that you can have your student, or you can make a copy of it and put it in your drive, and students can fill it out. They can also print it if you have access to a printer, but this may help them keep track of their assignments. Overall, a lot of students, who attend class and turn in their work, they're very successful. I'm a big proponent of making sure that students understand what they are doing. I will always give redos when students turn in the assignment, and like they've given it a good faith effort and they've tried all parts. Because if a student tries all parts and the student did not do very well, I'm going to allow them to redo some of those assignments. Not all assignments, but some of the major assignments I will. But if students do not turn it in, then they're going to struggle a bit more because I don't know how to help them. So as we go into Q2, no matter if your student is in the classroom setting because they're in hybrid 2 days a week, or they're all 100% virtual, understand that I am here to help, that the more that they ask questions via email and during Zooms, you will have a sub right now, but I am accessible, okay? I just cannot be in the building due to a family emergency, but they will be successful. It's just about keeping up with the work and reaching out when they are struggling. That is the biggest thing that will help all students to advocate for themselves in an appropriate manner, meaning in a professional manner. And when students email and they say, if they ask specific questions, then I can answer. So you want to encourage your child, if they're struggling, don't just email a teacher and say, I don't get it. Have them ask a specific question. I don't get when you said blank on this assignment, what did you mean, right? That would be the biggest thing. I think that all students will be successful this year, even if they did not do as well as they wanted to last quarter. They can most definitely pass ELA 10 and 12, or 10, because this is for 10th graders, sorry. You just want to make sure you're shooting for a C or higher for quarters 2, 3, or 4. Okay. I know that I am not able to be there for conferences, and I imagine that you may want to reach out to me. I can correspond via email and answer any and all questions. If you're receiving this in an email, it is because you requested a conference and I've attached this video, and then I've sent an email about your specific child. If you're receiving this via Parent Square, please reach out. If you have any questions about your child's progress, I will more than happily answer those questions. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a wonderful day.